Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and in this video we're going to break down the new Fox Racing V1 helmet available at RevZilla.com. So what you're going to see on the table is the entry-level dirt helmet from Fox. This is going to be the V1. Now what we're going to do in this video is we're going to break down what you're going to see with this helmet, but also how it's changed over its predecessor. So the white and black one that you're going to see over here is the old version. This is going to be the outgoing V1, and what you're going to have in the bright neon yellows and oranges in front of me is going to be the new one. So first things first, it is a polycarb shell. That has not changed, but what has changed is the amount of shell sizes you're going to see with this. So you now have 4 shell sizes with 4 EPS liners, and why this is important is that for an entry-level helmet coming in around the $170 price point, most other manufacturers are only giving you 2 or 3 shell options. So if you have a smaller head and you need to run a smaller helmet, what this does for you is it allows you to get a smaller shell size for your the smaller noggin on your shoulders, and it just gives you a lighter helmet overall. But really, when we're talking about weight, we have seen a weight increase for this new version, about 5 ounces over its predecessor, depending again on which shell you fall into. But this is around 3 pounds 7 ounces in the medium. Little bit heavy for a dirt helmet, but again, this is coming around the $170 price point, so that's forgivable in the fact that this is going to be an entry-level lid. Now this is going to be DOT ECE rated, and from a fitment standpoint, it's going to be intermediate oval to neutral oval. So what that means for you, if we call something intermediate oval, it's a little bit longer front to back, a little narrow down the side of the head. This is going to give you a slightly shorter helmet front to back with a little bit more room on the side of the head. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you're having problems where you normally have pressure points in the side of your head, you know, this might be something that might work for you just a little bit better than some of the other helmets you're going to see out there. Now the other main change you'll see over these 2 shells is that this is now going to have the magnetic peak release, and we'll show you that in just a minute just so I can rip it off. But before we do that, I just want to take a look at them side by side, because the main thing you'll note is there is a profile change. If you take a look at the back of the helmet, it's a little bit more of a sharp cut at the back of the new one. Just looks a little bit more modern, a little bit more stylistic than what you're going to see with the previous version. The other thing you'll note is that while the amount of vents has actually decreased, the ventilation has increased. And that's because if you take a look down the side, what you'll see here is that you're now going to have these massive cutouts to allow and promote a massive amount of airflow to push through, and there's really nothing standing in the way behind them. So there's no foam to clean out, there's nothing to remove. It's simply just spray it down with the hose at the end of the track day, and you are going to be set to go. Whether you're riding on a motocross track or whether you're out in the middle of the woods getting roosted by your buddies in the mud, extremely easy to clean, but a massive amount of ventilation with this particular helmet. So that will probably be the final thing that we really need to note on the old one, aside from the fact that you now have no rubberized gasket around the eye port, which, you know, some people might like, some people might not like. It doesn't bother me, and I think with the silicone bead that we're seeing on a lot of goggles right now, you really don't need anything here to hold those goggles in place. So it kind of makes it easy to take the goggle on and off, and it doesn't really do anything to impede on the performance of the helmet. So we talk about the fact that this is magnetic. So what you're going to notice, and you can see how easy it was to just pull it off. You just grab it and pull. You've got a magnet in the front, and then you've got 2 snaps on either side. So it's really easy to put on, really easy to pull off. The idea here is that if you do crash, it breaks away prior to the actual peak snapping off. So it gives you that breakaway where if you do crash, you do go down, your peak can be saved and it can be used again to fight another day. Just keep in mind, if you're new to riding and you've never really ridden before, if you do take a really aggressive crash in your helmet, probably going to be a good idea to go ahead and replace that, because the EPS liner inside has taken its impact and it's no longer going to save your noodle if you go down in that same spot. But what you will notice is you can get a really clear shot of the mass amount of vents you're going to see on the top of the helmet, and then if we turn this around to the back, you are going to have those channels where the air is going to be sucked out the back as well. And just taking a quick peek on the inside, what you're going to see, really easy to snap out cheek pads. Nothing super fancy here. There's not an aggressive contour to them. They are a sweat wicking cheek pad, but really a basic cheek pad. This is an entry-level helmet. This is exactly what I expect to see. You know, when you get up into more entry-level pieces, you'll see a more contoured cheek pad, really designed to fit your face. That is not the name of the game with the particular V1 that is in front of us. But I do like the fact that the snaps on here are going to be, you know, really easy in, easy out. If I had to complain about anything, they are going to be brow-mounted snaps. So for some people, you might feel a little bit of that pressure where those snaps are going to be into play. But if we take a look at the inside, you're gonna see those massive channels that we talked about to promote the airflow. And you'll also notice that that EPS liner in there is two different shades of gray. There's a lighter gray on the very top, and then there's a darker gray along the base of this. It's a dual density EPS liner. So a nice advancement for, again, coming in around the entry level price of around 170 bucks for what you're getting. But it is gonna be a dual density EPS in there to help with, you know, slower impacts versus faster impacts. Now, the only thing you're not going to see is you're not going to see any of the advancements that you would get up into, you know, if you're in some of the more upper level helmets. But really, for those of you out there just looking to get started, you don't want to put a huge investment into something. You just want to get a solid entry-level dirt lid. There's a lot going on with the V1, especially when we consider the improvements that we've seen over the outgoing version. So there's a lot of folks out there that have used this helmet to get into riding over the years. There's a lot of feedback, and if you want to read some of that feedback right now, you can click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, and you can read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting this helmet through its paces. If you have more questions for one of our gear geeks as to which helmet is right for you and your style of riding as you're just starting out perhaps in dirt, don't ever hesitate to give them a call, 877-792-9455. You can always shoot over an email to cs@RevZilla.com. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the Fox Racing V1 helmet. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.